I did a full backup of this machine less than an hour ago. And before I nuke it and do a boot from LAN restore, called a bare metal restore from Windows Server 2012 R2 Essentials, I'll go ahead and rename a file on here, or a folder. So you'll be a little extra convinced that I really am blowing it away, the C drive. Now, if you haven't seen one of these before, it's pretty cool. It's a boot from network that's set up from your Windows Server 2012 R2 Essentials, optionally, but a pretty easy wizard. As the laptop reboots here, I got to get ready on the F12 key on the keyboard on the laptop. This is a Lenovo ThinkPad T61p, a little older. And since I hit F12, it said scanning for boot devices, something like that. You may have briefly seen that. So I'm going to down arrow my way to the PCI or LAN device. Now I need to keep my finger on the F12 key again, because if you watch, it's going to find the DHCP server. Okay, .1, it found it. And then .100, it's saying is the server that it wants to boot from. Notice it prompted me to hit F12 a second time, and I did. So you have to watch the timing very carefully. Okay, now I can down arrow and pick the 64-bit image, and this should look to you exactly like booting off of USB media, or even a DVD or CD-ROM. So 7 or 8 years, Windows Home Server, all the way through today's Windows Server 2012 R2 Essentials, has had restore media for bare metal restores should disaster strike, like your hard drive die in your machine. But this is the first time I'm actually showing the entire process on video, not on a VM, a virtual machine, but a physical box, a laptop, a Lenovo T61p that has a gigabit Ethernet port in the motherboard, and by default its BIOS is set to allow booting from the network. So it takes a little longer to boot over the LAN than it would off of a DVD or CD, but it's about the same amount of time as it would off a USB 2.0 flash drive. Okay, so this should look very familiar to you. And it's not ready for me. I don't have any extra drivers I want to point to. I'm just going to hit continue and go through the wizard. It found my server on the network. Typing in my admin credentials. And now I have to tell it what machine I'm on. I have a lot of machines. So T61p is the image that I want. And that's the 850 backup you saw a few minutes ago, right? When we were on my desktop. That's the one I'm going to restore from. And I'd like to give you a view of the clock here. Okay, so now we can see time marching on as this proceeds. Let the wizard fully store the computer recommended. What does it mean? Well, it's a 96 gig SSD, about 89 gig formatted. There's not much to it. It's the same size drive, so there's really no decisions or disk manager you need. Just a next kind of wizard approach. Now it's actually blowing away the C drive and pulling down those bits over the gigabit Ethernet, and it's 9:30, so it'll be pretty obvious to see how long this restore takes since I'm recording the process. Obviously, I'm going to want to jump the clock ahead a bit, and right now it's estimating 29 minutes, but yeah, as you can see, that's syncing. So it'll show you very optimistic numbers in the beginning, and then it'll start realizing I've been way too optimistic, and the numbers start climbing. So I suspect it's going to take 30, 40 minutes. We'll see. Okay, it finished up. Didn't quite catch the exact moment it finished, unfortunately, but anyhow, so now we can reboot it. And that's the process. Now with Windows Server 2012 R2 Essentials, occasionally I've noticed you can get a check disk happening after the restore. Let's see if we get one this time. It looks like no. We would know by now. Okay, so the machine's coming up. we have finished the restore process with a login happening. Actually, auto login I have this laptop set for. And you'll see the folder on the desktop is named Stuff again, which means we did essentially roll back the clock on this physical laptop. So there you have it. This concludes my demonstration of boot from LAN, bare metal restore a Windows Server 2012 R2 Essentials. Hopefully you found this video interesting and helpful. Thank you for watching and for visiting tinkertry.com. Consider subscribing to the YouTube channel or even the support button. Thank you.